So I get to county jail, and this is the first time I've been to county. Before this, I've been to police stations and stuff and been let go, and then I've had I turned 18 in juvenile detention center, so, I spent time locked up, just I never went through the whole process of going to county jail, so get locked up, take the ride to county. I get to county, I sit in a holding tank with pretty much all the dudes I just got locked up with. And, none of us really had we had no bad blood with each other or anything. We all just kind of got fucked up in the same situation. So, I'm in there, I'm like tweaking just because, I'm tired as fuck. I'm just tired as fuck from being up so long off ice, and I'm just I'm also kind of going through like a manic episode. I'm kind of I can't sit still. I can't just sit there and sleep. I'm just I don't know, kind of mentally tripping out a little bit. But you couldn't tell. I was just in my head about it, and once I got through booking and everything, I have to strip down, shower in front of this cop or whatever, and get on their clothes and stuff, and then finally, after a while, after probably 8+ hours, then I was able to go to my pod or whatever. So I walk in there, I got my paperwork and everything, and all these guys in there had just seen that I was on TV and just got hit in a SWAT raid, so they already knew where I was coming from and everything. It wasn't just oh, we never seen this dude, what are his charges? It was oh, you just got hit in that SWAT raid. I was watching it on the news. So first thing I did was I had all my shit in my hand. I walked up in there, I go straight, it's my first time being in county. I go straight to a bunk, an open bunk, and I was just hey, it's cool if I post up here. And they're yeah, he's that dude on the TV using that SWAT raid. I'm yeah, yo, dude want to see my paperwork and stuff. I showed it to him, so all is good. My paperwork checks out. I'm in there, I'm kind of going through all the emotions and stuff, and fuck, I just went on a crazy run. It just ended right now. It's my first time in county. I got a couple felony charges, and I'm just fuck, ask a dude in there, hey, what you think? You think I'm telling the situation and stuff? And he's oh, you're probably gonna be good, as long as you talk to your public defender and stuff. He didn't say too much. You really don't have nothing to worry about. But I was still tripping, you know what I mean? It's my first time being in there. I'm tripping. Finally, I calmed down. I still was able to sleep and stuff. I mentally, I calmed down, and once I took a shower, it just kind of I'm back at home in a way. And also when I was in booking, I called my family, let them know hey, I got locked up. I'm up here just so at least they knew, because it was on the news and everything. It was a big deal, and it actually even though it was 2 hours away from where I lived, it the news, since I was from where I was from, the news showed it back where I was from, hey, so and so from over here got locked up or whatever. So, and it was on Facebook and everything, so they knew. So I called them, let them know what was up. So while I'm in this pod, it was actually, I was in a little hick town. I was in the town where it was 90 to 98% just white country dudes, people that do crank, and you know what I mean. It's just country dudes. I fit in well. I'm pretty country myself. I've grown up, in a suburb right on the edge of the city for most of my life. So it's I like the country stuff, and I got some city to me as well. Like if I go out in the straight middle of the country, it's almost like I feel a little bit out of place, but I fit in. Just like if I'm out in the city, you know, I might feel a little bit out of place, but I still fit in. So it wasn't a bad situation. I guess with the demographic I was dealing with in there, I fit in just fine. And I'm also like a bigger guy, so it's like, not saying that matters that much, but it's like I'm a bigger guy. I go in the pod. Like the first person I'm talking to is the other biggest dude in there. Like I'm like, yo, what's up? Like, you know, making myself, I'm basically networking with the one person where I'm like, I want to be cool with that dude, because if I have problems, that's really the only guy that I'd be worried about. That's the only guy where I feel like it would be I guess like a challenge, if you will. I don't know. It's just like I wanted to make sure I introduced myself to this one dude, like, hey, I'm gonna make sure I'm cool with him, make sure everything's good. And he fucked with me right off the rip. So I felt like after that I was already like locked in. Like I had some people in there looking out for me, like, hey, you're starving, bro, here's some food. Like people actually did right by me in there. So I didn't have any problems personally. Now I was in there for a little bit over a month, and there was one weekend we had in there, you know, because really the only entertainment in there was every now and then you might get a new guy come in there that gets a little bit of weed or something past the cops, and you got a couple dumbasses trying to smoke weed or something and make the whole bottle smell like weed. See, that's personally, like, I'd have to be probably in there for a very long time to I guess be comfortable enough where I'm like, I could see myself smoking weed or something in there. It just wasn't that just wasn't on my mind. I was basically done with my run, and I was trying to basically, you know, get myself right and everything, and try to come out of this whole situation and be better for the child I had on the way, and for my family, for myself. Though I was done personally. You know, it can't just be for them. It actually has to be for you, because if you just do it for them, you're gonna fail every time. It sucks. It should be enough, but it's not. It has to be for yourself and everybody else that you're doing it for. That's just an added, I guess, motivation, if you will. So we had a weekend in there where we had 7 fights in those 2 days. It was the wildest weekend. So the only entertainment we had in this place was new people coming in, getting checked out, people getting fought and everything else. And the only other entertainment we had was some people would come in sometimes and bring a little bit of weed or something in, and it'd be pretty funny because they'd be breaking lights and finding ways to light their weed up and shit. It's smoking out the whole pod, and guards would go ape shit. So this weekend we have 7 fights in 2 fucking days. It was the most entertainment that there was, and the whole time I was in there was this one fucking weekend. Now, honestly, I don't vividly remember every single fight. My memory's bad. I just know I counted and remembered we had 7 fights in 2 days. I'm like, that's fucking crazy. Every day you're waking up like, who's getting checked out next? What's happening? What's popping off? Like, because I wasn't the fucking one that had to worry about it. I was good. Nobody had a problem with me. I'm locked in with the biggest dude in there. He fucks with me. I didn't have no problem. So like, it was entertainment to me and a lot of other people in there. So this one story that I vividly remember was, and it's kind of a shitty story, but it just, out of all those fights, it sticks out the most. So some dude comes in and he is a rat, and everybody there knew him from this city or whatever, and they're like, hey, he's a rat. He's got to get checked out. So one of the biggest dudes in there, he was like 320 or 340 pounds. This kid was like 18 or 19, barely a fucking adult. And he was kind of stupid too. Like, he was in there off of $150 damaging personal property or whatever charge. All he needed was $150 and he was out of there on bail or bond or whatever. And and this dude really didn't want no problems with anybody. Like, there was a guy that I also vividly remember named Cheese, and he's an older cat. He cooked meth and shit, and he found his way up in there. And he's kind of a bigger, stocky white dude too. And this younger cat, he was like a 340 pound, barely 18-year-old white dude, but big, like tall, fat, like, but he was kind of a pussy in a way, but if you set him off, he'd put his size to use probably. So this dude Cheese, I remember the night before this 19-year-old cat or whatever checked this dude out. Cheese is fucking with this guy, like on some gay shit, like just fucking with him though. Like, from my point of view and everybody else that's just looking at it, we're like, oh, this is funny as fuck. Cheese kept fucking with this guy on some gay shit and then acting like he was gonna fight him, and then it just kept going back and forth. Like, it's like fucking 1 a.m. and you would think it would be annoying, like, shut the fuck up, go to bed. But it was kind of like, honestly, laying in bed just watching that shit, it was just funny, right? Cheese was just fucking with this kid. Now the next day, couple guys, when this new cat walks in and they'd say, oh, that dude's a rat, he needs checked out. A couple of these guys convinced this big ass kid to fucking check this dude out. And so this kid, he does it. He goes up to dude and he's like, hey, hit the bathroom or check yourself the fuck out. And dude wanted to fight. Smart move. You don't want to just check out. You're going to bounce pod to pod, and all the pods communicate. You'll get checked out of every pod, and you'll end up, in isolation by yourself, whatever that shit is. So, but that's just like bad. It's bad on your name. You're already a rat. You don't want to be a bitch and a rat. It's just, you're at the bottom of the barrel at that point. At least fight for yourself, I guess, It's just kind of how they run that world in there. So this cat, the young cat, checks out the new cat, and dude wants to fight. So they go to the bathroom. I'm telling you, the kid that was checking out this dude, this big ass kid that was checking this dude out, this kid was skinny, he was checking out. But the dude he was checking out was definitely older than the kid, but he was skinny. I couldn't believe he had the balls to fight this big ass kid. This kid starts fucking wailing on him. I mean, I don't even know how to describe it. Like fucking punches, like fucking coming in. It wasn't like punches like this. It was like just lighting this fucking dude up to the point where this dude gets dropped and fucking smashes his whole face on the fucking toilet, like the sink, and then falls down and fucking hits the toilet. This kid's still pounding on him. Dude's whole face is fucking bloody. Dude is like dazed out of his mind. He probably got half-assed knocked out. He was definitely seeing stars. I mean, after they first started going at it and that big ass kid got the best of him and this dude just slumped over, it was over. Fucking guards come in, storm the fucking bathroom. It took a minute though. Like you just hear them fucking right on skin. Like you're hearing this shit echo. You're hearing them throw him up against the bathroom, and we're all watching it, but like trying to stay low where it's like we can see it but not make it look like a huge commotion, so we can actually see him fight and not, because the guards, they got these windows that are blacked out where they can see in there and everything, but they're probably behind those windows fucking off, drinking coffee. They don't care that much. But after probably 2, 3, 4 minutes, it was probably 3 or 4 minutes. I mean, this kid fucked this kid up for a minute. And to the point where the fighting starts damn near turning into slow motion. He's beating a motherfucker that's basically like not even barely able to move at this point. And the guards come in, break it up. Both of them get taken out and shit. And that story always stuck in my mind because that just was like the bloodiest, most fucked up fight that I saw when I was in there. And what I took away from it though is it's like, man, he was in there and all he needed was $150 to get out. Young kid, kind of fucking stupid, obviously, to listen to other people. He was probably more or less peer pressure trying to make himself a name, but he's stupid. Like, he wasn't doing it for the right reasons. Like he didn't have to be the one to step up and check that dude out, because most likely nobody's going to try to fight a dude that they're not trying to fight the dude, they're trying to convince to check somebody else out. They just took advantage of him because he's a younger dude, and it's not my situation to even jump into. I'm not there to fucking protect nobody. It's for me, when you're in that mind state and you're actually in there, it's like, it's fucking entertainment for me. It sounds shitty, but that's just the reality of the situation. When you're in there, it kind of turns you into an animal a little bit. Like, you're fiending for your next meal. If something pops off, you're ready to defend yourself. You're not thinking like a normal person walking up and down the street. You're thinking like your head's on a swivel. Like, you're like, granted, I'm not saying it like it was really like that bad or nothing, like when I was in there, for me at least, but like still, it's like even subconsciously you're just like you're on high alert, kind of like you're what's happening next, like what's going on, what are those dudes talking about, like all this shit. You're just trying to keep tabs on the environment around you. And when you're surrounded with 30 plus dudes in the same pod, or however many it was, it's a lot of dudes in there, it's a lot of beds, it's like there's a lot of shit that's going on. So this kid, all he needed was $150 to get the fuck out. He gets convinced to do some shit. He's kind of stupid. He does it. Now, this kid just catches a felony charge in there. I mean, he caught a felony charge in county jail for fucking some dude up that he didn't even know, for no fucking reason that mattered to him. Because if somebody came up to me and was like, hey, you gotta check that dude out, I'd be like, how about you go check him out? I don't fucking know him. I don't know he's a rat. I don't know none of you motherfuckers. You know him. You think he's a rat. You know he's a rat. Go check him out. Let me see what kind of work you got. Like, you're not about to pull me into your situation, not in fucking county jail. Like, I'm not in your fucking gang. I'm not paying no dues to you. You're not feeding me. You're not protecting me. Like, I'm here by myself, handling my business. So it's like, but anyways, that situation always stuck out in my mind. Don't be that kid. Don't be that kid in any aspect in your life. Don't be convinced to do something that really has nothing the fuck to do with you. Stay the fuck out the way. Like, there's going to be situations in the world you might come across in the street where you might come across where you feel like it's your duty and morally obligated to do the right thing about. And I'm not saying don't do that, but don't let somebody convince you to do something that you really shouldn't fucking be doing. He shouldn't have put himself in that situation in the first place. That should have been enough of a wake up for him. Oh, I'm here. I caught myself in trouble. That's enough trouble. I don't need to fucking have somebody else get me in more trouble. Like the kid was not thinking, oh, if I beat this dude's ass, I'm gonna catch a felony. Like, that's where I'm saying he's kind of stupid, but it's like, don't be fucking stupid. Like, think about what you're doing. You have to play the tape forward. Something my buddy, one of my close friends, told me was that he watched a couple of my videos and he said that my self-reflection is a strong suit. Like, that's a good quality I have. And if there's anything I can try to get you guys to understand for me explaining this glimpse into my county jail experience or whatever, it's self-reflect and play the tape forward. Before you do something, before you act, really sit there and play the tape forward. I actually learned this idea of playing the tape forward when I was in rehab from therapists and having group sessions where they talked about it, and it made a lot of sense. Like, other people in that rehab had heard that before, and everything, when they talked about that whole idea of playing the tape forward, it made a lot of sense to me. It's like, if I go and do dope today, where's that going to lead me for the days going on? You have to really think these things out logically and factually, so that you can kind of put yourself in that position. If I take this step, where does it lead me? Where's the next step from this step that I'm probably going to take if I take this first step? Like, where does that path lead? So anyways, peace and love, y'all. This is a longer video than I thought it would be. Don't make stupid decisions. Don't fucking go to jail. No vices. Hit the gym. Peace.